Hey guys, what's cracking? What's crack-a-lacking? Hope everybody's doing good. So I'm gonna give you a 5 for 5. And we'll go with it. Yeah. Been very busy, guys. I've been really tired. Haven't really slept a whole lot in a few days. And after this live stream, I actually fell asleep earlier for about 20 minutes and body just said, no, you need to sit for a minute, close them eyeballs. Anyway, all right, we're 5 for 5, awesome sauce. I was waiting on Mark to get done. Hey, IG, good to see you. Becca, Jeremy, John, Enlightened Truth Seeker, Linda, Ricky, in the house, Surgery 68, Miss Dragon's in the house. Get over and check out her channel, guys. Okay, Paul, Monk, good to see you in here, bud. K-Heads, Inquiring Minds, hey, bud, just talked to you over on, Marfugal. Hope you guys got over there and was able to check that out. They always do a great show, guys. They really, truly do. I don't just say that because they're great people and friends of mine. I say that because it's just simply the truth. They just do such a wonderful job over there. Even if you don't agree with their viewpoint on things, they give you the source information and a full bibliography every show. So you don't have to believe how they believe. You can just go look at it for yourself. And to me, you don't get any more transparent than that. You really don't. So anyway, oh wow, genius, thank you, really appreciate that. Starting that off with 10 memberships, baby. Heck yeah. Inquiring Minds, you got one. Sweet. Tim, Chewbacca, who else got them? Star Hunter, awesome. Rose Petal, Judy, Angel Wings, good. Dynamo Hum, that's awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Really do appreciate that, genius. You guys are just awesome. Hey, Laura, good to see you. Very generous, as always. I mean, you support this community like it boggles the mind how much you guys do that for everybody. It really does. Guys, if you guys think that she's only doing that here, that's not the truth. She supports this whole community, and I promise you. And also, I will say this too. I understand people don't have the means to do that kind of stuff too. And so that's why I don't take it lightly when people do. Doesn't matter if they have the means or not. When they do come out of their pocket for stuff like that, that deserves a little bit of a recognition, in my opinion. But I also want to say, people that don't have the means to do that, you are no less important than anyone else, okay? I just want to make sure people understand that, because that's just how it is. Hey, Full of Hope, good to see you. Good to see you. Gifted another membership. Awesome. Awesome. Alrighty, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into this. So, what do we got? Well, we got a big filament, guys. That's just what it is. Hey, Daryl. Let me say hi to Daryl real quick. I skip Daryl half the time. I don't know why. Aloha, Kathy. I already said hi to Ricky. Hi again. But Daryl, I'm sorry, man. I don't know why. I see you here all the time, and I try to say your name every time, but I know sometimes I forget and skip over it. But guys, I'm still waiting on one address for somebody to send me to get those cards out. I'm going to send them all out in one day. I don't want to have to go to take multiple trips to the mailbox and stuff like that. It's a little bit cheaper if you send them all out at once too. So that's kind of why I'm trying to do it that way. So that's the delay in the cards that people won. Just if anybody's wondering, the few that did win. Waiting on one more address. If I don't get it by tonight, these things are going in the mail tomorrow, no matter what. Just so you guys know, just so you know. Okay, so all right, now guys, we had a big filament eruption earlier today, and you know what I should have done is had Matthew's. I did a short a little while ago, telling everybody I was going to be here after Marfugal show, and yeah, I put in that short Matthew Shipley's channel. He did just a 2-minute little thing, and he just did a little update on this filament erupting. Okay, and I'm glad he did, because I didn't have time to do it when it happened. It was just really one of those things that I just could not get here on the computer and do this. So I was very happy that he did, and it allowed me to do that little bit of a 1 minute short to let you guys understand what was going on a little bit. Also, you know, go check his channel out. I just can't say enough good about it. It just really is, you know. It's just a really cool channel. But anyway, so you got this filament right here. So let me run this through so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Wham! See that? Let me go ahead and zoom back in a little bit for you. Okay? Now, first thing I'm going to say here, this really is not what I mean, I want to show you this because it's space weather news, but this is probably not going to affect us a whole lot. Just for the fact of where it erupted and the direction in which it erupted. So let me just point that out first and foremost. But right here, there it is again, and we'll I have to do this like this to get my scroll to work, and I don't know why. It recognizes a different window unless I do this. But look at that. I mean, it's a very cool eruption. Okay, it really truly is. Now, this is also one of the, we got lucky in the sense that we were able to see, at least get a good visual here because of where it's located. If that had erupted, you know, tomorrow or the day after, like right here, we wouldn't be able to see all this. At least not as defined as we see it now. That's a lot of plasma that got shot out there, okay? If that had come right at us, you know, obviously that's going to be a solar storm warning type of situation. That, number one, it's actually moving fairly quickly. Okay? Number two, that's a lot of plasma leaving the sun. So that would have been a very dense hit if it was to hit us right on the head. Right? So that's what I'll say on that. But you can see how that is just a wham. And I've shown you guys these before. And I put Canyon of Fire in the title, again, for no other reason to draw interest. Okay? It's not a real canyon of fire. It's not fire. It's a canyon opening up a little bit. It looks like that visually, right? But you can, and it looks really cool, right? So there's nothing there. Then all of a sudden, this filament just peels off the sun. What's it do? It just rolls back everything else. All right? So, yeah. Now, again, not a canyon of fire. It's not exactly what it is technically. That's what we call it because it looks like that. And it does grab people's attention, and this needs attention grabbed to it because this is space weather news, guys. This is one of those things that, again, 1 or 2 days later with this eruption, the majority of that probably still would sail north of Earth, but because of where it's at, you know, it's fairly down in like mid latitudes of the sun. Not quite equatorial, but getting close there. So we would definitely catch something from that if it had erupted right here. Well, thank you. Thank you, Genius. Says, thank you, Wages. You are well deserving of all the love and support you receive. I admire your gratitude, attitude, and all the hard work you put into what you do. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. My wife and everybody else says thank you, too, to everybody else that helps. She really does. She's just as appreciative, if not more. Yeah, without going into detail, you guys have affected our lives in such a positive way when we really need it. And it's one of those things. So I'm not going to go into any kind of detail or anything like that. I don't want to be here talking about that. That's not why I'm here. But just know that you're making a difference, okay? And I really do appreciate it. So, all right, guys. So we got this. Again, is it going to hit us? No, it's going to sail northeast of Earth, most likely. And I said east. Yeah, I said east. When you're looking at the sun on these imagers from the satellites and stuff, you got to pretend you're standing on the sun looking up. Okay? Now, I'm not exactly sure why they do it like that. I understand sometimes in some like equations and trying to figure certain orbital mechanics and things out, why they would do that. I'm not so sure that it was completely necessary, but whenever they decided to do that very early on, I'm talking like before we were even here. Okay, so once you start doing that sort of thing, you can't change it because the rest of the world is doing it, and everybody in the scientific community uses the same form of direction, time, all that, right? That's why we use UTC time. Because if I said, hey, this is going to happen at 4 p.m., and I don't say anything else, you know, people are asking, well, what time zone? So, if you guys don't ever hear me say a time zone, you can assume I'm talking about UTC time, okay? Greenwich time, general means time, whatever you want to call it. That's just what it is. The whole community has to use that time frame, because if they don't, when they go talking about things back and forth to each other, things get all jacked up. Things get confusing, and mistakes can be made in calculations and stuff like that, trying to figure certain things out. Like, for instance, if I was to say, hey, this blew off at, what would that be, 4:30 this afternoon? Right? It wasn't 4:30 for us on the East Coast. It was noon. 12:30. Well, thank you, Inquiring Minds. I appreciate that. Very generous. Thanks. Thanks for the super sticker. That's awesome. Thank you. But, yeah, so you got to use that same time. If you don't, like if I was talking to friends or something over in Australia, talking about these kinds of things, or in the UK. Well, Full Hope lives over in the UK, or I think Ireland's where she's from. So if we were talking about something, and I was using a different time frame, it would get confusing really quick. So that's why we do use UTC time. And, yeah. So, that's why. Okay, so what does that, you know, I was over here on Seeds first off. Let me say this, okay? For whatever reason, Seeds is not updating SOHO. Okay, SOHO is the satellite here, right out in front of the Earth. The one I usually show you guys for these images. Okay, these are coronagraphs. Okay, this was on the 4th. That's the last time we got any imaging from it. And if you scroll down, because sometimes it'll be down here, like if it sees an event or something like that, it's not even there. So they're having some issues over here on their website. We can still get to the data, okay? So that's why I'm showing this to you. The data's still there, so don't let somebody tell you it's not. It is, because I'm getting ready to show it to you. Right about, now we're not going to see the black and white because they don't offer that over here on ISWA. Okay, right here. This right there it's the same data. It's just on ISWA, not on Seeds. Okay, ISWA is nothing more than an abbreviation, right? For, let me just scroll over so you guys can see this. Right here. Okay, for this. I think it's something, International Space Weather Association, I think, something like that. I'm not really exactly sure what that acronym's actually there, what it actually, each letter means. I can find out real easy. But it is on the NASA site. This is a hub for everything. Look, you can just, you know, if you come over here and you look solar, you got 6 sub-tabs over here that you can go look at all kinds of different models. And again, this is just a home base for models, really. A lot of people can actually just come to ISWA and do the whole update because there are that many models here. Now, if I go, when we talk about our like geomagnetism, what are we talking about, right? That's Earth, geo, Earth. Thank you, Sal DiMonardo. Thank you. Very awesome. Thank you, Sal. I do appreciate that. If I, is it DiBonardo or is it, if I mispronounce that, I do apologize. I have a tendency to brutal people's, destroy people's last name when pronunciating them. But thank you. Really do appreciate that. So, when you start talking about heliosphere, what's that? Well, helio means sun. Okay? So we're talking about the heliosphere. Any kind of model showing these kinds of sun conditions, right? And you're going to see some of these on multiple different sub-tabs, the same modeling, okay? Early on my channel, I was actually walking people through what buttons to click, because I was trying to make it so easy so people can do the same thing that I'm doing without me having to do it for you. And it's okay. I'm still going to do it. That's not the purpose of that. The purpose of that is when I can't, or maybe you just want to go learn, you would know exactly what buttons to push. You would know what you're going to be reading, those kinds of things. So if you just hover over this, look what happens. It tells you exactly what's in that tab right there. So you can just do that. I mean, you really do get into a lot of good models over here. But with that being said, let me show you Soho, because Seeds is not updating. So I they've been having some troubles here the past couple weeks. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Now remember, guys, they have to have people manning those things. Okay? That is something that is done by a person. Yes, there's computers involved, obviously. What I'm saying is somebody actually has to, like, if something isn't updating right, if there's issues, tech issues and stuff, somebody has to fix it. Right? That takes a person. So they probably got multiple people assigned to this, and whenever stuff breaks or whatever, they work on it. I mean, I'm not sure. But remember, when there's a human element involved, sometimes there's bigger delays, sometimes there's a lot of mistakes made. So that's just one of those things. People will go on vacation. It's just like any other job. I know we don't really think of it that way, because it is. It truly is. But because we think of them at a different level, like somebody's always sitting there watching this and that and this. That's not always true. Okay? These are jobs that people have. It's just like, when you go to work wherever you work. Same thing happens with these guys. Okay? But anyway, so let me show you the eruption here. Right there. Okay? Now, again, we're not going to get the black and white, and I know that sucks, because we do get to see a good contrasting, visual there. But you can clearly see, guys, this is the occulter disc. Again, that's a physical disc on the camera. Imager, anyway. This white circle is representing the surface. This is here to kind of cover the main light of the sun. Okay? If it's not there, we do not get any images at all. It's just too much light for the imager to handle. Again, if you want to prove that out, go outside with your phone, point your phone to the sun, and see if you can get a picture at all. You're not going to be able to do it, okay, without some sort of filter. So, in essence, that's kind of what they're doing here, because we don't necessarily need to know exactly what the sun looked like when this did it. This is here for the purpose of seeing what direction, how big the pattern is, how much it's fanning out, that kind of thing. We're trying to figure out what direction, if it's coming at us, those kinds of things. And again, guys, these are coronagraphs. You know what else they use coronagraphs for? They got these little triangle things they set up, right? And they fire bullets through them. They measure speed, all that stuff. So coronagraphs are used for a whole host of things. So anyway, let me just keep moving with that. I think I seen Trish and Hey Man Girl. Hey Mama Bear, good to see you. Michael Chaney, what's up? Barbie Little, Enlightened Truth Seeker, Deep Quakes in the house. That's right. That's right. That looks like the backside east. Yeah, I think this was the front side filament though, Deep Quake. But there are, I'm going to talk about bunches of backside eruptions actually, here in just a second. Because there were. And there are. They're still happening, and they're getting ready to turn in and look at us again. So that's why I'm going to talk about it. Now, this could be, let me see the timing on it. Yeah, I think that happened with that filament eruption. Let's look at well, I guess I have to scroll up because I'm on the same website, huh? So if I look here, okay, right there is that filament eruption. That was that, yeah. So that would be, see, yeah. That timing lines up, guys. So that is, hey, Letty L, good to see you. Hey, Joy. Daniel, what's up? Aloha, Kathy. Surgery 68's in the house. Guys, give me a roll call in there if you would. I'd like to see where you guys are from, or region. You don't have to tell me exactly where you're at, but I like to see where you guys are from. It's actually pretty cool knowing that I'm talking to people all over the world. Really do appreciate it. But anyway, yeah, that lines up for that filament eruption. Okay, so that eruption is this one here. Okay. It's the one that opened up the Canyon of Fire, which is, you see how fast that goes away? It's already gone. The Canyon of Fire part. And that's why I try to tell people, you know, yeah, it's a very cool thing to see, but the Canyon of Fire part really doesn't really affect us. It's just something that occurs when all this plasma gets ripped off the sun. And that's exactly what's going on there. I also want to point out, I would almost say we need to be on like some sort of a, and there might be something like this right now, I haven't seen anything, like a filament watch. And the reason why, look at these filaments. Look how large they are. These dark little shadows you're seeing here, these are rope-like filaments that are sitting on the sun just ready to erupt at any time. And you can see how they all curl back away this way. Now, I'm not seeing much lift in these, which I didn't see hardly any lift here either until it did. You see how it's kind of just right there on the sun? You don't see anything odd there, do you? But within like 2 hours, watch what happens. I mean, it like just immediately, bam. There was no flare there. Okay? That's just a filament eruption. So, so that's what that was. But we go down here again. Sorry, I'm scrolling a lot there. That is that eruption, guys. Okay? So let me back this off a little bit because I know it makes my head spin when others are scrolling up and down and just moving everything so freaking fast. It's kind of irritating. So I guess what I could do, believe it or not, right now, we can see these backside eruptions really well on this 94. And I'll show you what I mean. Okay, we can't actually see where they're coming from because you can't see through the sun, right? But let me, I'll show you what I'm talking about, how we kind of know what's going on. And I can use the coronagraph on Soho too to kind of show you a couple of those. Because again, that occulter disc is there, so when we see eruptions, we really don't know if it's coming off the front or back. Unless we go look at this satellite right here. But anyway, I'm going to roll this back to the start. And what I want you guys to look at, basically, is the limb of the sun here. Okay, even the whole thing, because I'm seeing stuff erupt all over the backside right now. Just by the corona getting disrupted, you can tell. Okay, and I'm going to show it to you, so you know what I'm talking about here. Big Chase, what's up? New Mexico, Barfugal TV Adam, that's right, baby. Awesome, 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 awesome. Wouldn't have anything different with those guys. They're family to me, guys. Just gotta say it. It's what it is. Tennessee, Central Florida, Washington. But I'm not telling you where. It never gets old. I love it. Maine girl? Yeah. I love it. KY, baby. KY in the house from Kentucky. Hey, if you live where I live, you either came from Kentucky or you got family in Kentucky. That's seriously, I'm not even kidding. Anyway, tourists. Tom Cruise stinks. Yeah, I agree. Kevin. But yeah, me too, Michael. You know, and again, I don't think it would have been like grid down or nothing like that. That eruption was just not that. It wasn't. Hey, Mama Bear. Greensboro, Iowa. Awesome, Dan T. Texas. Aline, Line, Illinois. Thank you, Deep Quake. You need to do that, man. You guys support me so much. I love that. It's just awesome. Thank you so much. Who got them? Big Chase got one. I See You, M. Saint, Born Again Buddhist. Kimberly Ray got them. Tell him thanks. Guys, listen. I will say this too. When they gift memberships, I have absolutely no control over who gets them, and neither does whoever gifts them. It goes to the most active person in the chat. So even just hitting this little heart button down there on the bottom right of your chat from time to time, it will make you look active in the chat. So the more that you're talking in the chat, you got a chance of getting a membership when somebody donates them. Hey, Adam. What's going on, brother? Love it, love it, love it. So let me show you these eruptions here on the backside, okay? All right. And I think that's kind of why that one erupted anyway. If you see this back here, and I'll go into more detail here in just a second. So I got to do it slow, but there was a large one right here. Let me zoom in. We can actually see that eruption too on the coronagraph on the SOHO satellite. So let me do it like this. You're gonna see this thing. It's not hard to see. Look at that. Okay, guys, that isn't like just right over the edge either. That was a very, very large eruption. It's probably 2 days from even looking at the edge here. Okay, that's just a guess, just because I can tell by the angle of the corona here of where it's, you know, shooting out there. See that? That is a massive eruption. And when I say massive, it's probably very condensed. And you can actually kind of even see like almost like a ball of plasma right there. It just is. Well, thank you, Miss Dragon. Another 5 gets the memberships. Awesome stuff. Awesome. Thank you, girl. Guys, you guys got to get over and check out her channel. She's doing some good work over there. Very interesting stuff. You know, Miss Dragon, you can always drop your link in the chat. So if you want to do that, you can at any time. And that goes for any of my mods. You guys can feel free. If you got channels, go ahead. The goal is to kind of do what Adam and Marv do. Really I'm going to end up trying to get my own website one of these days and be able to do it that way. That way I don't have to, you know, do that here. But you can see, guys, a lot of eruptions on the backside. This one here, guys, this is that same sunspot, and so is this one. The one that caused the big G5 storm a month ago. Okay, these two in tandem really are what hit us. This one here is in severe decay right now. Okay, it's degrading. It's probably not going to make the trip around again. Unless it has some sort of surge. Actually, this one up here looks a little bit more healthy. But, you see these? Those are individual sunspots themselves. And they're starting to train. Okay, what do I mean by train? You're seeing multiple ones on the same well, close to the same latitude on the sun. When that happens, if they all start acting up, it could be a train of CMEs headed our way. I'm not even going to comment. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, y'all know what I'm laughing at already if you're reading the chat at all. So, but there's something else here I want to point out. You guys have heard me talk about the 180 effect, right? What that means is you get an eruption on one part of the sun. A lot of times we see another very similar to the same size, usually maybe just a little bit smaller in strength, 180 degrees the other way. And once again, you kind of see that, okay? What am I talking about here? Well, watch this again. Here's this big eruption. And then look, bam, right here. That flared. So, and that was back on the 4th, okay? But we have these things getting ready to turn in and look at us, okay? We don't have, you know, a whole lot of time here to wait on any of that. I mean, obviously we can't do nothing about it. But what I'm saying is we need to start paying attention to it, because that's what's going to be space weather news here. It really will. And also, guys, if you ever come over here and look at these satellites, I want to show you something else that I noticed that people need to take notice of if they're looking at these things. Let me find the place I seen it at. Okay, now you guys probably missed it because it happened so fast. Okay, so right here, watch what happens. See that? See how it got blurry a little bit there? There's a couple things that could be going on right there. And the first thing I would go to would be, hey, something nudged the satellite. or the imager that's on the satellite. Guys, this thing's out there getting blasted with space weather all the time with no protection from our magnetic field. So any kind of space weather that's out there, it's going to hit this satellite unblocked. I mean, it's just out there in the open. Now, they know this when they put them out there, right? So obviously there's things that they do to try to minimize the effects of that. Like with the James Webb Telescope, you know what they do, right? They shade it. They shade the satellite. They put basically a big umbrella in the front of it. That's why you see if anybody's ever looked at that satellite, that's why they do that. They're trying to keep the telescope lenses and stuff cold. You get much better resolution and they can see further. That's why they do that. So, but it kind of applies here to what I'm showing you here. So if I show you this, right? So that satellite, if it gets nudged, okay, it can do that. Or if it gets like a little blip of light. But also what can also cause that is a flare on the backside. Because, and with it, the whole sun and the whole picture kind of going blurry, I'm not really leaning towards that right now. Oftentimes you'll see the edges of the sun like light up, but nothing else will. And you wonder, what the heck was that? Well, it's a flare on the backside. So, yeah. I mean, I know you guys can picture that. Just picture, maybe picture a ball, hold a ball, and then light a lighter behind it, where you can't really see the flame, or a flashlight even. And you'll see, what I'm talking about here. And that's the same effect that happens when you get a big flare off the backside. So, yeah. But in this instance, I think it's the satellite that got something happen with the imager, right? It wasn't that big of a deal because it didn't do a calibration roll afterward. A lot of times if they get hit really, really hard, they'll do one of those calibration rolls where it makes it look really crazy. It looks like something really bad is happening, but it's not. It's right. It's got to find home again. I'm not kidding you. That's what they call it too. Actually, I used that at the factory I worked at. We used servo motors, and they would get lost, is what we called it. They would lose what their home position was. So you would go over there to adjust that motor, and you were adjusting it from a lost position. So you didn't even know where you were at. So you had to home it again. So if you homed it, it found its zero, okay? And then you know where you're at, and you can make adjustments appropriately. The same thing happens with these satellites. They gotta get that thing back into home so they know where it's at, so they know how to point it and get it oriented right. So that's kind of what's going on there. But, so, again, we can look at this thing in multiple different angstroms, and we will. Let me just back this up a little bit. The 131 shows flares really, really well. And again, it's just a part of the light spectrum we can't see with our eyes. So you can kind of see this erupting also. Okay, see how it's not as visual? And that's why we look at other gases, guys. That's the purpose of looking at different angstroms. We see different gases. Now this one, we will see the ripple through the corona. And we got a coronal hole right here that's actually over here now. And that's pretty long, and it's in the Earth strike zone. So we might get a solar wind increase from a coronal hole stream. The surface of the sun is colder than its atmosphere. Okay? That's why it shows up black. This is not a hole in the sun. This is just a hole in the sun's atmosphere. Okay? So if the surface was hotter than the atmosphere, the colors here would be reversed. So just so you get a better idea of what's going on with that. But let me run this model for you, because we should be able to get a good idea how much it disturbed the corona. And that can help us determine direction also. And again, guys, look at this eruption down here. You'll see it stretch all the way. Check it out on the backside here. You see that move down there and up here? And it's centered right there. But it was moving down here. So that's a very wide, and it doesn't mean it's powerful, but judging by the density of the ball that came off of that, it probably was pretty, and it did look like it was moving fairly quickly. But anyway, let's look at this canyon of fire here. Here we go. Right there, okay? And it does give us a pretty good visual of the plasma leaving. That doesn't always do that over here on the 211. So that's kind of a special thing too, okay? So as we do that, 50, wow, full of hope. My gosh, wow, thank you. Oh my goodness, girl, what is going on with that? Holy smokes, thank you, very generous. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Man, okay. Thank you. Hey, Raven, what's up? Man, everybody get memberships, baby. Heck yeah. Love it. Love it, love it. All right. Thank you. Well, I don't know what to say. Thank you. That's all I can say, I guess. I really don't know what else to say there, Full Hope. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. Okay, so as we go forward here, let me do that. Wham! Look at that thing. But you can see how the corona just gets rippled, right? I mean, it is what it is. And see that other secondary eruption down there? So, I mean, we're just getting eruptions after eruptions right now. And it, you know, right now, a lot of them on the backside. But just remember, the backside will eventually be on the front side. Good one. Good one. Yeah, it's trying to give all you guys, get the Irish green. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Hey, East Tennessee Preparedness. Go check out his channel. He does a good job over there, too. Becca's in the house. Ricky's in the house. Heck yeah. Kool-aid Krew getting bigger, baby. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So, okay. Now, this one, the 171, we actually, do you see that? That was the eruption on the 171 angstrom. And check it out. We'll just do it like this. Okay. Let me click this real quick. All right. Look at that. That's just cool, right? I mean, wham. And we might be able to see a couple more things here too. Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. The 171 is fairly specific in what it's trying to show you. It does show you a lot of the corona. Obviously, look at it. I mean, it looks like crazy bright all the way around it, right? If I was to do this, that's what it looked like in solar minimum. That was 2020 right there. That's the difference, guys. Okay? Hey, Leisure, good to see you. Jeremy's in the house. There you go, Miss Dragon. Thank you for dropping his link in there. Awesome stuff. Go check him out, guys. Check everybody out. I always say that. I don't care if you guys think, well, thank you. I really appreciate that, Full Hope. I truly do. Thank you, thank you. I always say this too. Go check out everybody's channel. I really do. Even if you think I don't like these people, some other channels or whatever, please go look and make your own decision on that. I really would, I really do stand by that. That's something that I really want people to go do. And I'm not saying anything about East Tennessee right here. I'm just using this as an example. Guys, go check out everybody. Make up of your own mind. I'm not going to pretend to try to think for anybody. You guys don't need that. You guys are smart. All you need, and this is the same thing. I kind of got this kind of the Krew thing from Adam and Dex, because with the whole bibliography thing that they do over there, that right there just tells you they're not trying to tell you how to think. They're just showing you information. That's exactly what I'm doing. I was doing some of that myself before, but I took it to the next level because that's what I want to be. I want to be that person that just gives you the information without a whole lot of this, that, or the other. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to share my opinion, okay? Everybody has an opinion, right? I mean, everybody has one of those. Just like they have another one of things too, right? But I don't think people should force it. That's all I'm saying. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Once again. So, again, the 171 here, guys, it does show a lot of the corona, but, you know, it's very detailed in what it's trying to show you. And that's why I tried to show you these other ones too, okay? So, we did have a flare. I'm not going over all this stuff. This stuff gets boring, looking at graphs and stuff. Only time I show you that is when I need to explain what's going on, right? And we don't really have any kind of incoming solar eruption at this second, okay? But what I'm trying to explain to you, that can change snap of a finger. Just like this. Right? There was no sunspot there. There was no destabilization going on there. It just erupted. It's really that simple. Okay? So that right there should show you that the sun can do what it wants, when it wants, and how it wants to do it. That's just a fact. There you go, Mist. Love it, love it, love it. Yes, the sun affects our health. Yes, 100%. It is the single most effect on any of us is the sun. And that goes for our whole planet. It really is. As far as environmentally, as far as how we feel, it affects biological things in such a great way. Magnetism, it just affects everything, guys. Earthquakes. I mean, just all of it. It really does. If you wanted to be all-inclusive, you would be the sun. And that's not just me just saying that. That is the truth. And, you know, and I think most people actually agree with that. But to what Miss just said right there, you guys really should do some research. She talks about it on her channel too. What the sun does to your body biologically. It can really affect you and make you feel really bad. Or guess what? It can make you feel good too. So I don't always want to focus on that negative, and there is some positive, right? So there's yin and yang, you know, the whole bit there. But anyway, so let's just keep moving here. Now, again, we're not going to see much here, guys. They're not updating this. So we can look at stereo A, but we're not going to see much here either. We just don't get very much time here anymore from stereo A. But I do want to point this out. The highest sunspot number in 22 years. Okay? Now, depending on if you're talking about the 11-year sun cycle or the 22-year sun cycle, because there is a difference, okay? There's a couple ways you can look at it. I'm not going to go into detail right now. Matter of fact, I think Adam talks about that from time to time also. But we had 172 of them. 172 sunspots that faced Earth in May. That's the highest it's been in 22 years. So that is the highest it's been since solar cycle 24. We are in 25 right now. About halfway through it, getting close. Now, so far, listen to this. June is even higher at 200. Okay? If the current amount continues, that's what we'll come in at. Okay? So that's kind of what we're saying. If that happens, that'll be the highest it's been since December of 2001. And that it says rivaling the peak of potent. Listen to what this is saying. Rivaling the peak of potent solar cycle 23. A strong solar cycle at the peak. What's that saying? And that's why, like when I show you guys, okay, yeah. I can come down here and show you the graph. Right here, look at this. Okay? That is, yeah, it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this little button right here. You see this right here? It says default and all. When I hit all, it's going to take us back over 100 years of the sun cycles. And it'll give us a graph. Okay? So, right now, we are, yeah, completely destroying solar cycle 24, number one. You can tell if we get to 200, it's going to be up here. And 2023, 2001 was at the peak. Okay. So we could get up there. And that, you know what that means though? You see this red line? That was the forecasted line of where they thought we were going to be. We are so far exceeding that, it is crazy to me. Okay, now I'm not trying to say anything here, but I don't think anybody would deny that the official forecast is just simply wrong. It is not happening the way that they thought it was going to be. And does that really make a big difference? You know, it doesn't make a difference unless things are popping off the sun, right? Because you can have a bunch of sunspots and no activity. Just depends on how stable and unstable things are. The chances of that instability would be raised because of more sunspots. So, and that's what we're looking at here. Just the official, simple, how many sunspots. We're not talking about the flux down here. Okay, now I will say this, the radio flux is high also. It's higher than what it ever was back in solar cycle 24. And this does point to how powerful things are. This, you know, when the radio's fluxing, what's happening, right? I mean, that's really how we're kind of gauging how powerful these things are. So it's a solar flux, but again, it's radio flux progression. I'm not going to get into all the details here. Just understand this. They're trying to use this as an indice, at least to give people a little bit of an idea of the amount of energy and stuff that's getting pushed out and how strong that is. Okay, it's above normal. This hasn't even come close to this forecasted line. And what's that back here? 2021 maybe. So, you know, we're 3-4 years past that and we haven't even come close. So, you know, what is it? I mean, what's going on here? Well, we're just having a more active cycle than what they thought. And I haven't went back and looked at all these, like trying to see a pattern and all that. But I promise you, if you start doing that, you're going to see patterns inside patterns, inside patterns, inside patterns. They're there. It's just, and they're really not that hard to see. But it does take time, and it does, you know, that does take a considerable amount of effort. So, if it's that important to people, they'll go do it, right? And I know that there's somebody's job out there to do that anyway. So we're probably going to kind of see those cycles come to fruition through somebody else talking about it. Is it making the ocean heat and cool? Kinda. It does, and most certainly does. The bigger thing that I'm concerned about, I don't want to say I'm concerned, I guess I am a little. I mean, our ocean currents, guys. I'm talking about the driving currents underneath. Temperature affects that, but you know what affects it more? The salinity level. And that's the salt level, basically. So what adds salt or dilutes salt? Water, right? What happens when glaciers melt? It adds to it, right? So and that's exactly what's happening right now to our Gulf Stream. That's one of the main drives for the whole global ocean circuit. There's a bunch of them underneath there. It's just the Gulf Stream is just a famous one that we all know. And it does. The Gulf Stream, believe it or not, is why England doesn't get the very brutal winters and the effect. They get brutal winters, but they don't get them as bad as Moscow. Okay? So keep that in mind. They're on the same latitude as Moscow. Why aren't they having the same winters? Well, mainly the Gulf Stream. Yeah. I would tend to agree with that. But yeah, okay. So that's my little spill on that. And I've went into detail on that before, and I will again. But something else I want to point out here too. I talked about this a minute, 2 days ago, I think. Earth is passing through the orbital plane of Comet 12P Pons Brooks. What this is doing, this is an optical illusion. Okay, from our perspective, it looks like it has another tail, and it's called an anti-tail because it's actually pointing towards the sun. The sun is what causes the tail on the comet. Okay, so the space weather coming from the sun basically is ripping off pieces of the comet, causing the tail back here. Okay, so when you see one pointing towards the sun, it doesn't make much sense, right? And it wouldn't to you in your mind until you actually dig into what's going on here. It is simply an optical illusion because of the position of where it's sitting right now, and we are, and the sun, the light source. Okay, they call it an anti-tail, and this isn't something new. This is something that happens all the time. Whenever our planes become basically horizontal to one another in relation to the sun, okay? Yes, there's 3 different perspectives that you have to take into consideration when you're talking about this, but you get this anti-tail. It's an optical illusion. But you can actually see it with if you take a telescope out in your backyard, you can do this yourself. You don't have to look at a satellite. You don't have to look at nothing. You have to trust nobody. Okay, so I know that's a big issue for a lot of people. So go outside with the telescope and look for yourself. It's there. Serious. So yeah. Anyway, Dr. Tony Phillips does a really good job over here too, by the way, guys. So go give him some love over here at spaceweather.com. He just really does. I'm not going to read into his articles too much. I like people to go check him out because he did the work. He deserves the credit, right? He deserves the traffic over here. These ads and stuff that are over here is how he's paying the bills. So unless you go over here and look at the webpage, you guys all know how that works. So anyway, this is the near-Earth object chart. And what this is just newly discovered and old asteroids and meteorites and things like that. How close they're coming to the Earth. They call them near-Earth objects. 0.08 LD. They measure this in lunar distance. In other words, the distance between us and the sun. So a 0.8 means that particular meteorite was closer to us than our moon. That's what that means. But in contrast, I want you guys to understand this too. You see this down here? That says 19.3 lunar distance. You would have to go to the moon 19 times. Okay, and just keep moving out in space 19 times. Basically, it was at 238,000 miles to the moon. I think that's about what it is, if I remember right. But do that 19 times. But what most people can't wrap their brain around is this is on a near-Earth object chart. They consider that near Earth. Okay? And the reason why is because you got to understand they're talking about the vastness of space. And that's why. Okay? That's why they use that. I know I get the question all the time. Well, what the heck? They're considering that near Earth? Yeah, they are. Because it kind of is. Now, something else that you don't often see, like, don't miss these. Look, you see this says 2024? This was just discovered in 24. That's what they do. The discovery year was here. Now, they seen this one back in 2008. But you see how big it was? 82 diameters. That's why. Typically, the ones that they miss are really small. Not to mention that we got more eyes on this now, so we're going to see more. We have better technology, so obviously we're going to see more. But we cannot see the whole sky. Like Billy Bob Thornton said in the movie Asteroid, or Armageddon. What did he say? Begging you pardon, Mr. President, it's a big-ass sky. Right? Because he was asking, how did we miss this? Well, that's how. I mean, you're going to miss stuff. It's a big thing. But something I want to point out, we're talking about a 10 diameter meteor right here, right? Then you sit here and you could think what? You could sit here and think Sorry, I had a screen go black on me here. 1 second. Then you can sit there and think, wow, 189? Yeah, it's 189, people. I mean, hold on a second, guys. Sorry. Had some technical difficulties here. Apologize for that. So anyway, let me get moving with this. Okay, 189, that's a big difference, right? But check this out. 2,304 diameter. That one, I don't know when that was discovered. It don't have a year in front of it. So, but it's 17 lunar distance away. Okay. Oh, that one's an HDMI 3. That's why. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. I can't see anything. I'm kind of blind right now unless I fix this. Give me 1 second. Okay. Maybe that'll work. Come on. There it is. Got it back. Okay. All right, guys. But I am going to go ahead and pop off. I don't have much else to show you. I will be doing a members only this week sometime. I was going to do one yesterday, and I simply just could not. Guys, first off, my wife's on vacation this week. It's a staycation. We've been trying to do a lot of stuff with my daughter this week because she has color guard starting this coming Monday. And once she starts that, her life is completely booked until she goes back to school. So basically she gets like 2 weeks of summer and that's it for her. It really sucks. I hate this. She's a senior this coming year and it's my baby girl. It's going to be like one of those types of things, but, I cannot allow myself to miss things right now, and I won't. No matter what it is, like if big things happen, I'm not going to not come out here and talk about it, right, guys? And I'm typically going to be one of the first out here talking to you about it, because I can go mobile for a minute if I need to, and I've done that. There'll be really short ones, but then I'll come back with a longer one explaining in more detail later on that day once everybody in my house goes to bed. That's kind of why I'm here now. We were doing some stuff and, having a good time with each other, and I was tired. I am completely wiped. So, you'll probably see me tomorrow, later on in the day. I'm going to try to do a members only stream early evening, and see how that works out tomorrow. I think it'll probably be okay. So, all the new members, thanks to everybody, guys, for, yeah, you're right, Flow of Hope. Thank you for all the gifted memberships, Flow of Hope, and Genius, and Deep Quake, and who else? Anybody else donate today? I forget. If I missed somebody, I apologize. Also, Miss Dragon. Yes, Miss Dragon did. And who else did the super chats? Man, I can't get back to it. I have to go look in the back office here. But I'll shout you guys out tomorrow, okay? I appreciate everybody. Good to see you, Christian. Yeah, Genius by birth. Yep, I think I might have said her. I can't remember. But if I missed anybody, I do apologize. I haven't seen AA Ron for a minute. If anybody sees AA Ron, tell him I said hey. Appreciate everybody else's help there, guys. And thank you guys for being here. That's the most important thing to me. Just share this out. It really does make a huge difference. Okay? And I appreciate everybody. Winning streak. Good to see you. And peace out, guys. So, anyway, let's go ahead and we will kill this one. And we're going to go ahead and kill her. So, God bless. Yahusha saves. And as always, you can drink this Kool-Aid.